Hi everybody, welcome back to I Heart Cross Stitch. My name is Andrea. Today is Wednesday, January the 11th, 2017. This is the second time that I have recorded this video. I did record a video on Sunday, I think it was the 8th of January, and it ended up being almost an hour because I did my December web updates, a 2016 year in review, and my plans for 2017 all in one video, and it was just a little too much. And also so much has changed in the past 4 days as far as a lot of things stitching related, so I figured it just didn't make sense for me to post my previous video to YouTube, and I thought that I should just make another one, so that's what I'm doing now. And I will make another video probably sometime later this week that goes over my 2016 year in review and my 2017 plans. And I'd also like to do the FlossTube community tag that Jessie Marie organized. I thought that was a pretty fun tag. So what I've decided to do is just to go through the month of December chronologically. Excuse me. So the first 4 days in December, I worked on Flowers in a Vase. And that's because I wanted to start The Kiss by Mirabilia on December 5th, because that's my husband and I's 24-year anniversary. And so I worked on Flowers in a Vase for the first 4 days. So, and I also worked on it the last week in December. So it got December 1st through the 4th, and then the 25th through the 31st. This is what it looked like the last time I worked on it, and thank goodness for Instagram. The last time I worked on this project was on August 25th. So this is what it looked like the last time I worked on it. At least this is a section of it. And here is where I am now. Yes. Okay, so here we go. So I was able to get this orange stitched up, and I began the top part of this orange. So this pattern can be found in this Just Cross Stitch magazine. The Cross Stitch magazine with the farm on the cover, that is the July-August 2015. July-August 2015. And I lost it. Hold on. Sorry about that. Technology. Okay. The July-August 2015 Just Cross Stitch. That's where I got this pattern from. And if you just give me a moment, I'll show you what it will look like when it's finished. Okay, so this is what it will look like when it's finished. Now the model is stitched on 28 count summer khaki casual linen, and I am stitching it on antique white, 28 count antique white Monaco that I got from, I think, Michael's. I'm not really sure. Michael's or Joanne Fabrics or something. But I really like this fabric very much. And I know I will use it for future projects. Okay, so that's Flowers in a Vase. The next thing I worked on was Mirabilia's The Kiss, and I worked on that for 10 days in December, beginning on December 5th. And here's what it'll look like when I'm finished. And here's where I'm going. Here's where I am so far now. I worked on this 10 days in December, and I worked on it 10 days in January. January 1st through the 10th, so yesterday. So this is 20 days worth of progress. So I'm stitching this on a 16 count Aida that I got from 123 Stitch. I don't know who the fabric dyer is. It is a hand dyed fabric. As you can see, I'll show you the back. I'm not afraid to show my back, but this is kind of like I don't know if you can see that it has very slight modeling to it, but it is incredibly soft. I don't know if I've mentioned that before or not, but it's very, very, very soft. No stiffness in this Aida whatsoever, which is really nice. It's a very nice fabric to work with. I'm going to guess that it's a Zweigart fabric because it has that yellow orange stripe at the top, but I don't know who dyed it. It didn't indicate who the fabric dyer was on the 123 Stitch website, but the color is called Opal. It's not an opalescent fabric, it's not sparkly or anything, but the color of the fabric is called Opal, and I really like this. So here's where I've gotten to. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of empty space where the beads will go. A lot of empty space in here, and in here, around her sleeve, in this area. A lot of empty space for beads. So that's going to be really fun when it comes time for that. Another thing I wanted to mention about this design is that I came to a place in the design where one of the symbols was a black heart. And I looked on my key and I couldn't find a black heart. There is no black heart on this key. I have drawn one in, from then until now, but there is no black heart symbol on this key. So I went on to the Stitch Mania group and I asked for help to see if anybody had this design or has stitched this, if perhaps my key was different from theirs and they had the black heart symbol, and somebody did. I'm not going to say her name on FlossTube because I don't have her permission to, but a really sweet lady has this design, and apparently she has an updated version because her key does have a black heart and it symbolizes color 902. Now on my key, 902 is a black diamond, and on hers it's a black heart. So I just drew a little heart in here with pencil and I colored it in, and I wrote black heart to remind me that 902 is the symbol, or 902 is the color for the black heart. So if any of you have Mirabilia's The Kiss, take a look at your key to see which version you have. Okay, so I think that's all I wanted to talk about with that. I think so. So when I make my January update at the beginning of February, I may not show that again because you're not going to see any progress between now and then. I'm not going to work on it again until the next time I work on it, and I will go into more about that later. All right, so the next thing I worked on is Paris Market. And give me 1 second and I'll show you what it looked like the last time I made a video. Let's see. I'm going to guess that this is what it looked like the last time I made a video. And this is what it looks like now. Take a step back so it can be viewed in its entirety, and from the last time I made a video, I was able to work on all of this. So that's it for Paris Market. Sorry for the drop frame. Alright, so I only have 4,000 more stitches to do, and then all of the cross stitching will be complete and I'll be able to start on the back stitching. So there's my progress on that. Okay, so I think that that's all I worked on in December. Yeah, because after I was done working on Paris Market, I picked up Flowers in a Vase, and I've already shown that to you. Okay, so what I'd like to talk about next is I wanted to talk about some personal things. On December 5th, when I started the Kiss, like I mentioned, I did that because it was my husband and I's anniversary. Now, he and I had that day off from work, but because we had a whole bunch of fun things planned, but we didn't get to do any of the fun things that we had planned because our little one was sick. Our 5-year-old son, at first we thought that he had strep throat, so I took him to the doctor and they did a strep test, and it came back that he didn't have strep throat, but that he had an ear infection. And so they gave him antibiotics for that, but instead of getting better, he just continued to get worse and worse and worse. So I took him back to the doctor, and they did a blood test, and it came back that he had mono. And I was really surprised about that because I know that anybody can get mono, but it really wasn't on my radar as far as possible illnesses that a 5-year-old could get. So the doctor recommended that we take him to the emergency room because he needed IV fluids. He was dehydrated, and so we did. My husband and I took him to the emergency room at a local hospital about 15 minutes south of where I live, and they looked him over, they hooked him up to an IV, and they did give him IV fluids, and the doctors there felt that he needed to be admitted. So he was admitted into the hospital on Tuesday, December 6th, and he and I stayed there for 4 days and 3 nights. He was there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. He was able to go home Friday, December 9th, kind of around 5, 6 o'clock in the evening. So while I was at the hospital, I took the Kiss with me, and I worked on it because he slept a lot when he was in the hospital. He was either sleeping, or I would have like little movies on for him, and he would watch 20 minutes of it, and then he'd drift off to sleep. Then he'd wake up and watch a few minutes, and he'd drift off to sleep. The poor thing was so sick. But he's doing so much better now. When he was in the hospital, they gave him really strong steroids in his IV to reduce the swelling of his tonsils because they were extremely swollen. And his lymph nodes were very swollen too. It looked like he had little golf balls stuck in his neck because his lymph nodes were so swollen. But anyhow, so yes, he is doing much better now. I want to thank all of you who follow me on Instagram for all of the love and support and kind words and encouragement that you provided to me and my son during that time. Most of you have never met my little boy, except for, you know, on this video, you've seen him every once in a while. But the outpouring of love from the cross-stitch community was just really spectacular. So I want to thank you all for that, sincerely. The 2016 was a very difficult year for our family, health-wise. My husband has been dealing with an illness since November of 2015, and it's an illness that he's going to have to deal with his entire life. I'm not going to say what it is because I want to respect his privacy, but it's not something that will ever go away. So we've been struggling with that, and I had heart issues. Over the summer, I had to wear one of those monitors that for over the weekend that monitors your heart, and I have like an irregular heartbeat. It's called something like premature heartbeat or something like that. Anyhow, so I've totally cut out caffeine, and that has made a huge difference. No, I have completely cut out coffee. I don't drink soda. If I do drink soda, I'll drink like 7-Up or ginger ale. But so I've cut all of the coffee out, and it was so hard. I think I've talked about this in my previous video. It was so incredibly hard. The first 2 weeks of not drinking coffee, I absolutely went through caffeine withdrawal. And if you Google caffeine withdrawal, you'll see that it is a real thing. I totally went through that. It was awful. But I think that I'm over it. But I do drink tea. Now, I have been, for most of my adult life, I was a tea drinker. I never drank coffee. I didn't like the taste of it, and I preferred tea. And I was working at a company several years ago, and everybody there drank coffee, and they would bring in these, I don't know, these like special coffees that were like super good. And they had a really awesome coffee maker, and they made coffees like designer coffees, if you will. And it just smelled wonderful, and it tasted wonderful. So that kind of like got me hooked on coffee. But my heart has been doing so much better since I cut out the coffee. My digestion has improved 1,000,000% since I gave up coffee. And I'm back to drinking tea. So I really like the English breakfast tea, and I like green tea. And I'm really looking forward to trying some of the tea that Rachel Danowitz has mentioned on her channel. I think it's called David's Tea. So yeah, getting back into tea. Anyhow, enough rambling about the tea. So at the end of December, my husband and I wanted to have like an anniversary makeup day, where we celebrated our anniversary and did fun things to make up for the day that we weren't able to do that. So we went out to dinner. We took our boys with us, and we had a really good time. And my husband gave me this beautiful ring. Hold on for 1 second. Isn't that pretty? It's a white sapphire. It's not a diamond, but it's a white sapphire, and I love it so very much. Because normally I wear this ring on my ring finger. Now this ring is his wedding band, but he doesn't wear it because it doesn't fit his finger, and my wedding band that matches this doesn't fit my finger. So I wear his band. I've been wearing his band on this finger, you know, as my wedding ring. So now I wear them both together. I suppose I could switch it to this finger. So I could have both. All right, so that was nice. That was a lovely surprise, and we ended 2016 on a really good note. My husband got a new job at the end of 2016, and I got a new car. It's not a brand new car, it's a certified pre-owned, but it's a 2013 Hyundai Elantra, and I was so excited. Hold on, I'll show you a picture. Give me 1 second, because it's on my Instagram. Okay, there we go. That's me. I'm at my dad's house, but that's my new car. Now, if you knew what I was driving before, you would understand why I'm so excited about this. I was driving a 94 Ford Grand Victoria. None of the windows went down except for the driver's side. The radio didn't work. None of the locks worked. And in order for the driver's side door to open, it would have to be open from the inside. So my son would like, if my husband was driving, I would have to open the door for him from the inside, or my son would have to open it for me from the inside if I was driving. It was just a pain. And we wanted to get a new car before he started his new job. So we did, and I'm really happy about that. All right, so what else do I want to talk about? Okay, so January 1st, I wanted to start the Raven Queen. And I didn't. And this is the reason why. On December 31st, I had the day off, and I could have slept in, but I didn't. I woke up at 5:30 in the morning, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and having extreme fabric anxiety. I was just so, I don't know, I tried to go back to sleep, but I just couldn't stop thinking about this fabric that I had picked out for her. It's 28 count even weave. The color is Storm from Picture This Plus. FlossTube itchy nose. Oh man. Sorry. I thought for sure this fabric was going to work, but as you know, when fabric goes through the hand dyeing process, it shrinks. And so I was looking at this, and I got my ruler out, and I measured and I counted, and it is closer. It's closer to like a 34 count, 35 counts, like in between 34 and 36 count fabric. It's not 32 count. And so I put it on the Q-snaps, and I tried to stretch it, you know, to see if I could make the holes more easily visible. No, this thing is not stretchable. There's no way I could stretch this fabric to get the holes more easily visible. And I really don't want to have to wear a magnifying glass or anything like that, because when I sit down to stitch, it's just my time to just relax and stitch. I really don't want to make it that complicated to have to wear you know, mag eyes or a magnifying glass, use magnification. It's just not something that I'm interested in doing. So on what was December 31st? It was a Saturday. So I was up 5:30, and I was doing test stitching on this fabric, this Storm. And I was doing the cross stitches I could do, no problem, but I started doing some beading, like practice beading on this, and it was just not going to work. It was just not going to work at all. So at around 6:30 in the morning, I went on December 31st, I went on to the 123 Stitch website, and I got the recommended fabric. I got the recommended fabric for this project, which is a 32 count linen, and the color is called Touch of Gray. And this is what it looks like. So it's pretty comparable, right? It's similar. It's a little bit lighter in the gray. Oh, sorry. It's the serging thing. All right, sorry for that drop frame. Okay, so there's, you know, just a little bit of difference in the color, but I like this color. Now, what I don't like is the manufacturer of this fabric is Witchelt, and I don't think that I've ever used their kind of linen before, but it was very, very, very stiff. Very stiff. Stiffer than most Aidas that I've ever worked with. I wasn't expecting the linen to be that stiff. So I thought I'd soften it up a bit. So I put it in a bucket and let it soak for hours with a little bit of detergent to see if I could soften it up. And I put it in the bucket, and I kind of rubbed my hand, you know, to agitate, and it was like the fabric felt slimy. It felt so, I don't know, it felt like whatever chemicals or whatever they put in the fabric to make it so stiff was dissolving, and it was just so odd. So I let it sit for a couple of hours, and I didn't want to rub the fabric together. You know, I didn't want to scrub it because I didn't want to damage the linen fibers. But so I tried to get as much of that stuff out of it as I possibly could to soften it up, and I laid it out to dry, and I was kind of like smoothing it out because I had it on a towel to dry, and I was smoothing it out, and it felt sticky. I would rub my hand through it to kind of like press it so it wasn't as wrinkly, and my hand felt sticky. It felt like there was glue on my hand or some kind of adhesive material. So I went and I soaked it some more and rinsed it out again, and it wasn't as sticky, but yeah, it'll work. It'll work. It's definitely not as stiff as it was before, but I will never order witch out linen again, because I shouldn't have to go through that whole process in order to enjoy my stitching. I'll just find some kind of Zweigart linen, because I do like theirs. All right. Is there anything I wanted to talk about? Okay, so that's why I didn't start Raven Queen on January 1st. So January 1st through yesterday, I worked on the Kiss. Now today, when I'm done uploading this video to YouTube, and after I've made dinner and all of my chores are done, I'll sit down and start the Raven Queen. Now, okay, and I think, is there anything else I wanted to talk about? I don't think so. So I'm going to really quickly show a few things that I have purchased. I don't remember when I bought this. I think it was mid-December sometime. You know what? It was the day after Brandon came home from the hospital, because I had been cooped up in the hospital for 4 days, and he came home on a Friday, and the next day was Saturday, and I told my husband, I need to get out, get some fresh air, drive around, just get out of indoors. So I went to Michael's and I got this, Glory of Autumn. It was on clearance because they're getting rid of all of the kits at my Michael's, so I was not happy about that. But I got Glory of Autumn, and when I do stitch this, I'm not going to use the Ada that came with the kit. I'm going to use a different color. I may use the floss that came with it, however. We'll see. I don't care for Dimensions Ada. And I don't care for their floss either, but I'll use it if I have to. Another thing that I bought, it was the day after Christmas, I believe. Yeah. And Joann's was having, they had a really good coupon. They don't have this kit at their store. It's something you have to buy online. And it's something that I have been wanting to buy for quite some time, so I went ahead and got it. It's called Simple Treasures. It's a Dimensions kit. And I bought this because I'd like to stitch it for my husband's brother and his wife. They really like the ocean and nautical themes. They have a lot of things like that in their house, and so I'm going to stitch this for them. Alright, so one other thing that I've purchased is some needle minders. Now, I'm not really big into needle minders. The needle minder that you saw, the one with the sparkly bee that I got from McKenna from Every Stitch Counts, that was the first needle minder I ever bought with my own money. The octopus that I have and a couple of other needle minders that I have, those were gifted to me, but when I saw that sparkly bee, I had to have it. But I'm not one to gather a whole bunch of needle minders. I would have no problem using the same needle minder on all of my projects, but I kept on seeing this lady's needle minders on Instagram, and every time she would post pictures of them, I would just stare at them and think, those needle minders are so pretty. And I think she was having a sale. I believe she was having a sale. And so I got them, and they came from Scotland, and it's called Dainty Dots Decoupage. And I'm going to show it to you here, but I'm not sure if it's going to focus. Dainty, it's It's etsy.com/shop/dainty.decoupage. Or you could just search for it in, in Etsy. I'm sure you all know how to find it. But here's some of the needle minders I got. I got 4 needle minders. Now, this came from Scotland. So I got 4 needle minders plus shipping, all for $20. I thought that that was a wonderful price. Okay, so here's the first one. I really love that. And her needle minders are tiles. I'm sorry, they're domino tiles. Like, see, it's domino with the picture on the front and domino on the back. There's a magnet, and the back of it is a button that has a magnet. And this needle minder has been, I use this when I stitch on Paris Market. I like to use that. And here's this one. I really like that. This little butterfly one. And this little bird one. So I really like those. Now, the next set of needle minders I'm going to show you, I received these needle minders from the fabulous Denkai. She sent me some needle minders, which was very, very kind and thoughtful of her. And I will show you the ones that she sent to me. Like this one. It's a lovely lady with a mask and a fan. Very oriental looking. I really like it. And here's this one. I really like it because it's green. Green's my favorite color. Has the sparkling rhinestones around the edge and a pretty lady in it. That was very nice and sweet of her to send that. And the last one is my favorite. It's this little wooden, it's like a little wooden square. It's this. So it's kind of like a heart-shaped kind of thing, but it's also a tree, and it's looking thing, and it's purple, and it's made out of wood, and I love that. I really like things that are made out of natural objects, and things made out of wood would be one of those things. So I really like that needle minder very, very much. All right, so that is that. Okay, so do I have anything else? All right, so there are some things I feel like I want to talk about. I don't want to go over an hour, but I am, you know how when you do the Know Your Needleworker tag, and the last question is provide one word to describe yourself. I'm not really sure what word would be used to describe this, but I change my mind a lot. So is that indecisive or wishy-washy, or what word would you use to describe somebody who changes his or her mind a lot? Because that's me. When it comes to my rotation, and I've been trying on a lot of different rotations, so to speak. At first, I tried to do the one project. I did one project every 3 days. So I'd work on a project for 3 days, and then I'd switch, 3 days, and then I'd switch. And that worked for a little while. And then I did one, I don't remember. I changed, that's right. I changed my rotations so that it was Monday through Friday I'd work on a project, and then Saturday and Sunday I'd switch, and then I'd switch again and work on a different project the next week, and then I'd switch again. So it was like I was working on like 8 or 9 projects a month one project for each week, and then one project for each weekend, and an extra one for if there were more days in the week. And that worked okay, but I really didn't get a lot of progress. And so then I switched my rotation to a 10-day. Now, and that has been working well, except I'm really missing some of my whips. Like flowers in a vase, I hadn't worked on this since August, and I just worked on it again in December. So September, October, November, so that's like 3 months. 3 months I went not working on this, and I missed this so much. And there are whips that I have not worked on since July. And I really miss them. And the way that I have things set up, it's just going to make things difficult. I'm working on Paris Market every month for 10 days so I can get that done. And one thing I've noticed about myself is the best way for me to lose my stitchy bug is to give myself a deadline. Because, where is it? I was going to hold it up, Paris Market. I will never do that again. I wanted to get this done because it's a gift for my sister-in-law, and because I didn't want to have it any longer than 2 years. So that's why I wanted to get this done by the end of March. But going forward, I think only under extreme circumstances will I ever give myself a deadline again. And that includes the kiss. Now, I wanted to have this done. Okay, I wanted to have this done by December of next year, by my 25th year anniversary, and I need to not do that. Because when I picked this up again January 1st to work on it instead of the Raven Queen, I did not want to. Because it was like I felt like I just worked on this, and there are other projects that I haven't worked on in months that I would love to work on. And then, you know, in order for me to finish this by December of 2017, I would have to work on it a lot. I would have to work on it a lot. More than I'm willing to commit to. So I'm going to say right now, my goal is not to get this done by December 2017 for my anniversary. If it does, fine. If it doesn't, fine. Because if I force myself to do that, I will absolutely lose my stitching bug. And I don't want that to happen. So, and the only one who really cares about it is me. I mean, my husband, I showed it to him and he likes it. But if I don't have it done by December of 2017, I don't think he's going to be upset. So the only person I would be disappointing is myself, but if I just let it go and not allow myself to be disappointed, then I won't be disappointed. I hope that makes sense. So going forward, what I've been thinking about doing is having a 6-day rotation. Now I have... I don't think I brought my list with me. How many? 12. I think that would work. 12. Yeah. Or 15. Hold on, let me think. So if I think I worked it out 6. 5 days, 5 days. 10, that would be 10. I don't remember. I don't remember how many whips I have off the top of my head, but I calculated it so that starting April 1st, because I need to get that Paris Market project done, so starting April 1st, I want to start this new rotation to work on a project every 6 days instead of every 10 days and work it in a certain chronological way according to how old it is, except on April 1st I will be starting a new project, and I want to show it to you. And this video is getting a lot longer than I wanted it to be. I only wanted to stay at a half hour, and I'm over a half hour. Oh, and it's not on that device, it's on this device. Okay, so April 1st, I'm going to be starting on this project. It's called Tuscany by Riolis, and I'm going to be stitching this for my father and my stepmother so they can hang it in their house. So, I ordered this on eBay, and it's being shipped to me all the way from Russia, so I'm excited about that. I'm excited to start it. So because in March, my main focus in March is going to be doing all of the back stitching in Paris Market so I can have it done. And Tuscany is supposed to come at the beginning of February, but I don't want to start it in February because I just want to have, I don't want to have Paris Market on the go and Tuscany. So on April 1st, I'd like to do a 6-day rotation, starting with Tuscany, and then all of my other whips in chronological order according to how old they are. Of course, I could change my mind between now and then because I change my mind a lot, but that's how I see things going, because I really miss my other projects, like my mountain lion and the project I have from Cross Stitch Gold, and Daybreak, my Haid Daybreak and Mini Evergreen. I miss those projects so much, and so I need to change things up. I need to change up my rotation so that I'm working on all of my projects in a more logical way than I'm doing right now, so that I don't miss them so much, because they do mean a lot to me. I've started them for, you know, very important reasons that I have explained in my previous videos. So I want to work on them. All right, I believe that that's it. I'm going to save my shout outs until my next video. And don't forget, I am having a giveaway. So if you wanted to be entered into the giveaway, please watch, or please go to my previous video, my October-November update video, the one prior to this one, so that you can get all the details. You'll have to watch it towards the end. I'd like it if you watch the whole video, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. You could just skip to the end. I'm giving away 2 $20 gift cards to the whatever cross-stitch related online store of your choice that sells gift cards or gift certificates or whatever. So, and that's to celebrate my 1-year FlossTube anniversary in October, and something else. Getting more than 1,000 subscribers. I think that was the second reason. So I feel like I'm rambling now, and because I don't want to forget anything, because so many times I'll finish a video and I'll think, oh, I should have said this, oh, I should have said that. I want to say thank you. Thank you to all of my subscribers, all of you who watch my videos, who give me thumbs up, comments. I love comments, because comments is really the only way that, you know, we talk, me and you. Otherwise, I'm just talking to myself in my bedroom, looking out at the forest and the parking lot and the iPad. But when you talk back to me with comments, you know, it's kind of like we're having a conversation. It's not kind of, we are having a conversation. So please comment, because I love it. And I think that's it. I don't think that there's anything else to talk about. So I hope that you all have a lovely day. Thank you for watching. It's a new year, so I'm not going to tell you to love what you stitch anymore. I'm going to retire that closing line for myself. All I'm going to say is be kind and love each other and happy stitching. I will talk to you later. All right, bye.